So I know people are doing the listen, don't judge. So, when you decide to, when you think that you have it and you're like, okay, I should be able to do this, such as have another child. And when you think that even if you would have two people, you would have a partner, but it still feels like you're doing it by yourself. You kind of do regret making that decision. Not because of them, because they're like the life of you. You would do anything for them. But it's just everything that goes into it, everything that is involved in caring for another human being has like this, you're just overwhelmed sometimes. And you're more so overwhelmed when you have a child that, you don't know is going to have a learning disability, such as being on the spectrum, such as being an autistic child. So it can be, it can be exhausting. It can be overwhelming. It can be stressful, especially also because you don't have anybody to talk to. And when you do communicate what is happening to you, the other person or whoever you're talking to is just sitting on the phone. They can't offer anything because either they don't know or they just don't know what to say. They have no empathetic words for you, no sympathy for you at all. And most of the time it's because in the back of their mind, they're judging you based on the decisions that you made, but they don't come out to say it. But you have that feeling. I'm a Leo, so I will assume the shit out of everything, and I will assume that that's what they're thinking. I know I miss my brother so much, because even if it was something that he couldn't relate to, he would communicate or say his thoughts or give me something. He just doesn't sit there on the other end of the phone mute. So when you don't have someone who even says anything back to you, if you don't have that at all, then it makes everything else that much harder. And absolutely in no way I would ever, take back the decision I made, because I can't even imagine being in this world without my son. He's everything. And he's so comical. He's a Leo, he's a fire sign. So I had 2 fire sign babies, and I had them so far apart. So they're 22 years apart. Listen, don't judge. And so today, because my son needs OT and speech, just so that way I can make sure, when he does his evaluations with these therapists, they were like, oh yes, he will need this. And it could be that they just want money. I don't know. But I know that it is hard for me to understand him because he's nonverbal. He communicates and he gestures a lot. And I know that he understands what I'm saying. His vocabulary, as far as his words, are coming in like really, really good. And it's because I'm also pulling up so much information with ABA or ABBA and trying to go over these activities. And with him, when we're home, I just don't let it stop at school, because school is school. And when people hear that, okay, I want to be in a position financially where I can take a lot of time that I need, so that way I can spend it on homeschooling my child. Because I really wanted, when my daughter was in school, I wanted to do that so bad, because just dealing with the public school system, which is just, it's a failure. And it has been a failure since I was in school. But we also have to teach them outside of school, and people don't do that at all. And it becomes so hard, because it was hard for me to even think about, okay, I want to get a curriculum and do stuff with my daughter outside of school. I just never was able to do. And I said, if I wanted to have another child, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to homeschool and be able to teach my son other things as far as African history and studies, and learning a different curriculum. And I signed up for so much stuff, but I can't even do it that much. I literally went through the chat GPT, put everything down because I wanted something else to calculate it. And it calculated everything for me. It calculated as far as the time that I spend on the road, the time that I spend basically away from my son, as far as travel time, including any travel time that we do together, as far as the weekday. I spend a total time with my son, and I'll put it here, 4 hours a day. Now that I started back work, where I'm going on site. And by the time we get home, like now it's different because we're home because he was supposed to go to therapy. By the time I got to the school and did everything to pick him up, it was already 3:30. I was not going to make it to therapy. But trying to get off of work, and even though I feel like we're not even in real training right now, I tried to schedule this so that way I'm not making him miss out on what he needs as far as the therapy that he needs to succeed now and into his future. And it was so frustrating. I just got so frustrated. I left a message. I didn't leave my my contact number. Really, what are you doing with that tomato? Look at that tomato. Look what you done did with the tomato. Say tomato. Cheese. It's not cheese. But so it's crazy. I write. Okay, I write so many articles. People respond to me. I write. I don't really talk about it, verbally, but I do write about it. I have so many articles. You can find me on Substack or Hot Pages, where Substack is where I put most of my writing as far as what I'm going through, as far as parenting and dead end jobs and trying to become a successful writer and all of that. And I'll share those links. But yes, I mean, it's a lot. And I put information there, how much I done spent over the course of 10 months trying to build my own home business so that way I can work my desired hours. Because once I was going to sell my house, but evidently I need to fix it up a lot more. But once I sell my house and move away from Florida into a different area, I don't know if it's still going to be now overseas or in a different state. But I'm definitely moving. And I want to, when I do move and relocate, I want to be able to homeschool my son. And people always think because you're homeschooling, and people, who judge, they think, okay, homeschooling, oh, he should be this. School is just school. School is the basic learning. You can go buy a curriculum book and do that. So if it's going to be based on social awareness and getting him as far as a social status and making sure that he's hanging around with other children and other people and learning. Right now he's in a class where it's other nonverbal children. So he's not really talking to them. I mean, he's hearing the words and stuff from the teachers and the paraprofessionals, which is the same as what he's doing at home. Because I've never stopped talking, to him. We don't never stop talking to him. We're always talking. So it's the same thing. And then, when you're homeschooling, you just find these other programs to link up with other moms who are homeschooling, and you gather with your children there so that way they can be in those social settings. So they're never just at home. There's other ways that they participate in other things. Because of his such an energetic behavior and other people, I cannot leave my son with other people because I know that they're not going to watch him like I watch him. There are so many children who have now lost their lives, nonverbal autistic children who have lost their lives because they have strayed away from home without any type of supervision. And I know that could happen to my son if he's with someone else who basically allow their children to just go out and play and think that those children are going to watch my son. That's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? I have to watch my son. I have to be the one accountable. I have to be the one that is advocating for him. And it's not making him feel like he's such in a reserved place where I'm, watching him so much, but he's non-verbal. So he's not going to be able to associate those words that is needed because he doesn't do them now. And I will not be confident with him in somebody else's care that I don't feel like will watch him the way I would watch him. I mean, that's just the way it is.